Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In this video we are going to learn how we can pass a value through property to the component that is used as a parameter within higher order component. What is higher order component? I have explained in detail about higher order components. I have made a video on that. You can learn from that. But for a summarized form, I can explain you that a higher order component is a component that take other component as a parameter and it enhance the functionality of a normal component that is using by the higher order component as a parameter. For example, you see I have this component. This component is need color, this color, and it have a event change color. Whenever I click on a button, it change the color. You see that I click on this, the color is change. I click on this and color is change. Similar way we have another that is on hover, so that we have same event and same color property, but we have a different event that mouse over. So that means both the component need same property, same kind of information. So without just doing a copy paste in different component code, we made this component as a centralized, means here we have the code, and from this code we are creating a new code as an enhanced code in which we are passing a property, and we are returning this in which we are passing a property from here, and we are returning an enhanced component. That is the work of higher order component. For using higher order component, we use this here as a return, a default. We export it and we pass the normal component as a parameter within higher order component. This higher order component take this parameter here as a normal component and it enhance the property and pass the property like this color and change color event that the click and hover both require. But this is not the purpose of this video. I have explained this higher order concept in a detailed video. You can watch there also. The problem is here that I am passing a property here from here. For example, I pass here name and I say Dr. Vipin Kumar, for example, and I want to display this name here on click component, means I want to display this here, means dynamic name I want to pass or a dynamic property I want to pass. But here if I see here I have a static value here, but here I want to use the value that I am passing as a dynamically as a property to this component like this. Similar way I can pass to this also like this. I say name and then I can pass Dr. Sachin Kumar like this, save it. So these information dynamically I want to pass and I want this information should come here, but it is not coming because if I use these property on click like that, suppose I use this property here and I say that is props dot name, you see like that I'm using it. Similarly I use in hover also, and in place of this I use this property. So I say props dot name like this, save it, and you will see that we do not have a error, but the component is not displaying the name which we are passing. We do not have a error, but we are not having a property because this higher order component have this component as a parameter, and this higher order component returning a new component that is enhanced component, and that enhanced component is coming here in place of this. So I am passing the property to this component, but actually at runtime I am not passing this property to click or hover. So now how we can pass this property dynamically, that is the purpose of this video. So see, we have a two way for doing this. So one way I will apply for click, and second method I will apply for this hover. So how we can do this? We see this. The first method is by using context value. So for context, I have created here this context name react dot create context, and we have a name here. So I need to import this first of all. So I import it here and use it here. So what I do, I say that I have a name here dot provider, and that we have a value, and that value I will use from here to here. So I will cut this and I will use this value here, and I close this, and under this I will use this component on click. Remember that I will use this component as a child component within this context value. Now done. So here in this component I will have this value, but I would not have a value here, remember, because this is not the child of this. So I go to click. First of all, I just save this here. Now I go to click, and here I want to use this value here. For that we have a two ways to do this. If it is a class component, then I have a two ways, and if it is a functional component, then I have a two ways. So one way I am explaining that is common for both functional or class component, and one is different. Means if it is a functional component, you can use context hook. So that I have a separate video also, you can watch that also for about a hooks. Use context hook for understanding how we can pass the value, how we can receive the value from provider to here by using use context hook in a functional component. Separate is the consumer value. So how I can consume, I am just explaining here that in place of this name I use name dot consumer, and in this consumer I just import this file and I put this property inside this here, and this is not the actual way to do this. So I remove this. So under this, under these expressions here we have a arrow function, and then in arrow function I have here value that I am passing, and I will display that value here. Remember that, and save this. So with the help of this consumer concept, we have the value here, and I am just displaying this value here. And if you will see the output, we have a Dr. Vipin Kumar. One value is coming by using this, and I click. You see, I click and we have the color change effect. So it's working fine. So with the help of this, we done this by using consumer. So from here we are providing this value, and this value we are reading here on click by using a create context concept. Now one more way we have, so I select this and I make it comment and I save it, and you see that value is gone. One more way we have to receive this value here in click component, that is that it is a class component especially designed for class component, and this consumer technique work for functional component also. So now here I use for especially for class. So I say change color on click dot context type, and here I pass name. Remember that the context type I am passing here, and that is automatically is the name because we have context here. Now in place of this, here I will display simple this dot context. Remember that this dot context. So context will have the same value which we are passing. So we have this Dr. Vipin Kumar we having, and color is also changing, so everything is working fine. So this is especially designed for class. So we have this context, and this context will have a value only when we pass here context type. So it's very beneficial if you have a class component, so you can use this. So this is the one method to pass a property to a component that is used as a parameter to the higher order component. Now this change on hover, we are also passing here value, but this value is not coming here. So for that we have a different concept, and that concept is very useful also and unique one also. You will understand it here. Suppose that this parameter is a normal component. So here I will use the property. Remember that I will use here props like this, and here I will use different arrow function. Remember like this. So I have this property here props, and I will pass this value here as a name. I am passing this as a name, Dr. Sachin Kumar, and here I am receiving this in higher order component. I am receiving this as a double function. You see, this is also function bracket, then we have another function parenthesis, we have double arrow function here, arrow notations, and this property will receive from this, and here I will pass this component as a name. You see, and I'm passing it here. I say props dot name. I save this. Now one more way we have to do. Here you see I am returning a value, but if I say this, still I would not have the value, and we will have an error also. This error is, you see, we have this error. It is not working, function are not valid, and we are returning a component, but we have to use this. Means we have to return like this. You see that how we can solve this problem. So in place of normal return this component as we were doing previously, now I have to return it as a component. I am using this component with property. Remember that dot dot dot, I have to pass props also here, and I have to close it like this. Why I am passing this as a props? Because it will go to hover here, and here I can use this props dot name like this. So this class component will have a property because I am passing this property from here. So if someone is passing property, I refresh it. You see, now I have to check this also. So I am passing this here props dot name. We have passed this. Now go to hover, and here also we have to see props dot name, and I see name is there. We have a name, then we have component, and we passing this name here, this dot props dot name. Same hover we have, we are okay, because it's a capital name we have to put this in a small name property, and you will see that if I refresh it, the value is coming here, and if I go hover and then color is changing on a hover event, you see that. So now this property is coming because it was capital name, but here we have a small. So we have this value here. You see that here we learn that how we can pass the property to the component that is we are using as a parameter for higher order component. Normally we are not able to pass property to these component, but by using these two techniques we can pass property to component that is using as a parameter for higher order component. That's all in this video. I think you learned something from this video. If you do, please do subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.